the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, October 21st. From Sarasota, Florida, I'm Seth Johnson.
From Powell, Ohio, I'm CJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to another episode of the HomeTech Podcast all about home automation, technology, Matter, of course. This is we are now in the first couple of weeks of a whole new world. Everything has changed, and Matter is now with us, and it's great now. I walked outside today, it's just sunny skies. It's a crisp 71 degrees right now, so tomorrow I'll probably have to put a jacket on. So I mean, Matter is just global warming solved now, I think.
Well, it's cold at my place, so I'm not really sure what you got going down in Florida, but it's only 36 degrees here, so I'm a little cold.
Oh,
a little cold.
This is all thanks to Matter, I think. That's what everybody tells me. Gavin, is it cold where you are? I mean, you're further north, so theoretically it should be colder where you are.
You should be frozen already, right?
No, it's not that cold. Well, I'm not that much further north than you are. Just a little bit further north, I think. Oh, Seth, I'm a lot further north then. Okay. Like, don't look at me like that.
You're a lot further than me. I don't know.
Yeah, not that bad, but it's getting chilly. I'm still golfing, so it's not too cold.
How many C's are you up there? What is it?
I think we're in the single digits now in C's. Tomorrow is probably going to be like 9 Celsius. That's the high.
That's crazy. I don't know what that is. That's probably 40 degrees? That seems cold to me because it's 70. I have 71 and it's going to be 50 tomorrow. And I had to go buy my daughter a jacket because she doesn't own one. But anyway,
it's like cold enough that when the iguanas fall out of the trees, they shatter. They'll lose a limb or something like that, right?
Okay.
So
that's a good metric for Florida. Like the alligators,
there you go.
The alligators go down to the bottom of the water because it's warmer down there. Yeah. All right. Well, we got some official numbers in, guys. We had our friendly wagers that we bet on the CEDIA show. Last week, talked a little bit about it. We didn't know the results yet, but like right after we recorded, CEDIA came out and announced that the 2022 attendee numbers were officially 15,497 total registrants with a verified attendance of 11,946 with 317 exhibitors. And I think that's all the numbers they have on here. So not bad. Let's just go through our results here that we have here. Gavin, he bet $1 Canadian. I'm not even sure what that is, but if it's one person, the difference is 11,945. And
wait, hold on. To be fair, I thought we were doing it the Price is Right way. So like I thought we couldn't go over. So that's why I went with the $1. Just to be fair, if I'd known the real rules, then I would have guessed a lot better.
I think it was a good bet. I mean, I think it was
whatever your excuse.
You bet $1. So there we are. TJ, really, really close to the registration, right? So you guessed 15,500, which is 3 away from the total registrants. That's crazy, man. Good job.
I'm just claiming like Gavin. I didn't know what we were betting on. So
I thought you were betting on registrations. I was right on the money. So a difference of 3,554. And then I guessed 9,999, which is a difference of 1,947. So I guess I won whatever prize. I don't know what prize it is, but it actually better than I thought. So good for CEDIA. Like it sounds like it was a good show for everybody involved, and definitely a warm up from the 1,400 they had last year. So it's a step in the right direction. So keep going that direction, and next year be back up to 20,000 people in Denver, I'm sure. So we'll all have to go. Gavin, clear your calendar, man.
Oh yeah,
you're remote. You work remote.
Yeah, I can work remote.
No. You need to be there. I mean,
I'll be there.
We all have to record a show in Denver next year. I mean, we have to.
Okay, we got to make this happen then. You guys are talking, but we got to make it happen.
You just drive down or get down to Ohio. I'll take it from there.
There we go. That's a long drive to Denver.
Yeah, it's a lot.
All right. Well, what do you guys say we jump into a lot of these HomeTech headlines?
Let's do it.
All right. An over-the-air update coming later this month will turn Samsung's standalone SmartThings hubs into controllers for the new smart home standard Matter. The V2 hub will control Matter devices over Wi-Fi and Ethernet. With the current hub, the SmartThings dongle will also act as Thread border router. Samsung is the first company to publicly announce the Matter certification. And they claim to be the first company to have received one. The Samsung executive told The Verge over there that the company received its Matter certification early Wednesday, October 12th, and it's just a week after Matter launched. And then someone from over at the CSA, which oversees Matter, confirmed that they started issuing out the certifications this week and said that Samsung was among the very first to secure one. So I guess good for you, Samsung. You're certified. Very proud of you.
Woohoo.
I mean, this would be a lot cooler if it like exposed your SmartThings stuff to Matter, right? Like, but I don't know. There's no Matter devices out yet. So you're still going to have to wait a month or two before you even get any devices. So, I mean, I guess it's good it's happening before devices come out. That would be my only thing, right? Is because, as we start getting Matter devices here in the next couple of months, it'd be really awful if everybody was like, well, actually, we're not going to have the Matter update until spring of next year. So buy our devices, but you can't use them. So at least that's not happening, but not that exciting.
Nothing exciting, really. I'm expecting companies to get Matter certified. Like who was first doesn't really mean a big thing. It's I just, yeah, great. We knew Samsung was going to get certified. Like we know who's going to be certified. They've been talking about it for a while. It's when the devices start coming out and we'll discover how the companies are butchering this. So that's going to make it tougher for us in the end.
It's only a matter of time until Samsung introduces their own like Matter standard. It's just going to be like Matter Bigsby, whatever their
Matter Plus.
Yeah.
Smatter.
Just like they do with everything else, where it's like, no, it's the same thing, but like it's just a little different, so we don't have to answer to anybody.
Didn't they come out with their own standard for what was that for?
Like 4K. I mean, pretty much like anything you can imagine.
Yeah, the HDR10 Plus is theirs, right? Yeah, because Dolby Vision is
such a mess. Samsung makes their own everything. That's never that good.
And they had one for appliances too, right? They had their own standard for appliances.
Yeah, I think they have been working on that. It's funny that we're talking about this because Samsung had I actually archived it because it's not something we're going to talk about, but I'll try and dig it back up for the show note. But there's a little press release that we're like, Samsung and Google forge a new partnership to work directly towards the smart, working on the smart home. And it's like you read it and you're like, what partnership do they have? It's basically saying that Google Matter devices are going to integrate with Samsung, which we knew all along was going to happen. It's the other way around. The Samsung devices that aren't Matter compatible or aren't going to be upgraded aren't going to go the other direction. So, good press release, Samsung, I guess. But I archived it out of fury, just by like they're just trying to confuse people at this point.
We're doing this thing everyone already expects of us, but you're welcome.
And we're only doing it halfway, but we're not going to tell you. We're going to pretend that we're working with everybody because we had a press release. Didn't you see the press release? It must be your fault. It must be your system that's not working right.
6 months from now, dead. That's what Google does.
Leave it up to these companies and their big siloed and sales weasel executives to speak sideways on this thing and confuse everybody to no end. But what is nice is that we have a smart home standard that I keep going back and thinking about that post we read about from Paulus last week over at Home Assistant. He said, it's kind of a uniform thing. It's an open source standard code that anybody can deploy for pretty cheap, since it's a reference code and you can build your device around this reference code. And there's going to be tons of devices that have that little Matter sticker or Matter compatible kind of wink, wink. And, that'll be nice. I think that this kind of does tear down like the walled garden of like going out. Because I remember on these shows, like with Jason and I talking, we'd always talk about like, oh, I went and bought this iDevices wall switch, right? And it had Amazon on it, it had Google on it, it had HomeKit on it. It's like, okay, all three, no matter what, I'm safe. But now it doesn't really matter. There's the word. It doesn't really matter what sticker they have on there. The Matter one is like, as long as it's on there, it's going to work and I'm good to go. No matter what devices I have at home. So I think from a consumer standpoint, it's a win. If, it sounds like it's working properly, but I think from a consumer standpoint, it's going to be a good thing for just getting the junk into people's houses. Now, how it works after you already have it set up and deployed onto the Matter network, which is magical, is a different story. And that, unfortunately, is not going to change.
Well, and I think it's important to know that, it's not going to really make that much difference until we get further down the timeline, right? Right now we basically have a basic standard. Everybody kind of knows what to do with it, but it doesn't support everything. So, we're not really going to know if this thing is going to work until like 5 years from now, right? 5 years from now, when they start adding all the robot vacuums and video doorbells and everything else that a smart home has, and we see how it works together, then we'll know a little bit more.
Yeah.
Until then, it's kind of just, sit back and watch.
I think Gavin was talking about like power reporting. Like that's clearly in a lot of home devices, but not a Matter standard. So it's not going to weasel its way back up into any kind of interface that are being provided by the big three in this case, or maybe big four, I guess, if you consider Samsung being in there, which I guess I should, but they just keep doing this little like sidestep around it. It's like, well, we still got our own stuff too. There's no fridge standard for them, so I can understand why they kind of have to. Let's move on here. Guys, we got some lock talk. Isn't that exciting? There's more lock conversations now that TJ's been on the show than I think there ever has been in the entire history of home tech. But
well, and I think locks are kind of like making this kind of like this intro into the market, kind of like video doorbells did, right? Like for the past 3 to 5 years, you've heard nothing but video doorbells. I think door locks are about to be that same thing.
Interesting.
Just because we've seen so many different developments with locks, everybody kind of wants one at this point. It's kind of a standard with a smart home now. So I think we'll just keep seeing these kind of announcements.
Good point. And the price has definitely come down. So,
oh yeah.
Let's talk about the big news today that came out. Assa Abloy announced that it was going to basically divest or give up its acquisition or give up Yale basically, so it could purchase Kwickset, Baldwin. Is it Visor? Pfister, and then National Hardware brand. So basically they want to buy all these lock companies, and the DOJ was like, we got some complaints on this. It looks like if you did this would be a monopoly, and that's kind of illegal. So Assa Abloy's like, well, maybe if we just say we don't want Yale anymore, and we spin that off to its own little company, and then we can buy these other companies and bring them in-house. We'll see what happens here, but this is pretty. I think this is pretty big news. It's actually nice to see our government stand up to like these bigger companies that are just like clearly a monopoly at this point. Like that they would have had basically all but one door lock company in it, if this merger had gone through. And I suspect in a different timeline, the merger would have just flown through. But this one here, just it's beyond like it's beyond imagination that one company can control literally everything but one like smart home door lock company. At least not just in the States, right? This is a worldwide company, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and Yale is a pretty large company. A lot of people know them from their smart locks, but the smart locks really haven't been around that long in the grand scheme of Yale as a company. Yale itself has a bunch of commercial hardware. You can buy, door cylinders, you can buy mortise locks, panic bars, all that kind of stuff that you would normally buy for an office building. And depending on where you are in the United States, they're really popular. And it's actually funny in the article here from CE Pro, Yale is the number one most used smart lock brand with 70% usage for the integration crowd. And I think that would probably be because, companies like Crestron will sell Yale locks. And I would think that Control 4 and a couple others also have integration with them, mainly because you can swap out the modules. If you buy one of the locks, you can swap in a Wi-Fi, Z-Wave, or Zigbee module, which makes them super easy to use. And you basically just buy one lock for everything. So interesting to see this happen. And that brand you couldn't pronounce, Wiser. That is the correct name, is Wiser. I've never heard of the other one though. So
Gavin, does this affect you anything up in Canada there? Like, do you have laws against companies basically owning 99.9% of the marketplace?
I'm sure we do, but I'm sure nobody enforces it, right? Yeah. Like it doesn't matter. Same thing, right? But I hope this doesn't affect. I like the Yale locks. I have 2 of them. They work well. I like the fact that they have those modules and I could swap them out, because if they came with a Matter upgrade, I could just put in a Matter module to continue using the same hardware, right? And that's great. So I really hope whoever they sell it to takes it further.
What's hilarious is that basically only two companies control all of the smart locks, or I guess, locking hardware in general, which would be Allegion and Assa Abloy. Both companies own a large portion of the lock space already, so you don't have that many choices in the grand scheme of things. There's offsets of that make their own hardware and stuff like that, but they're far and few between.
So what you're saying is this sounds like a pretty good buy for Allegion. Like they just snap up Yale, and then we'll have two companies.
Yeah, honestly, and that's who I kind of see purchasing it. I don't know who else really would, unless one of these new smart lock companies kind of want to purchase it. They have access to a lot of patents and information at that point. But what is it? They made $350 million last year or something like that in 2021. That's going to be a big purchase for somebody. So it's going to have to be a larger company.
Oh yeah. No, it's Yale is a massive company, like you said, and it's interesting that you pulled that out from the CE Pro article about it being more popular on the integration side. And thinking back, it's like, yeah, that's why I think Gavin talked about being able to swap out the modules. Like if you didn't like running one with Z-Wave and wanted to move to Zigbee, you could. If you had a Control 4 system, you put in the Control 4 flavored Zigbee module, which is oddly enough, I heard was going away from a dealer I was talking to. He was having problems with one, and they were like, yeah, that's gone. So I'm really curious as to what is going to happen.
What's gone?
The Control 4 flavored Yale Zigbee module. So like, does that mean Control 4 is going to switch over to standard Zigbee kind of in this mix of things that we're seeing here? It's something they could do because they're basically a lighting company that has a Zigbee radio and all of these devices out there, but you're stuck with the Control 4 product, like you're stuck with only using that. And at the same time, like the Control 4 dimmers and switches and everything, like you can't just buy those and put them in anywhere else, right? You couldn't use Gavin's Habitat, with the Zigbee radio. It would be nice, honestly, like to have that option to say, oh yeah, well, this is a Control 4 dimmer. It's just a smart dimmer. Like we can put it anywhere. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see if that plays out. I might be wrong, but it's interesting to know that the Yale Control 4 thing, at least from Yale Tech Support, was saying that that was discontinued and they weren't planning on making anything new there. So how will you integrate with Control 4 in the future? I don't know. All right, let's move on here. Kind of staying in lock talk here. Ava, is this Avaya? Avaya, I guess. Avia. Could be that too.
Avia? I don't know.
Avia, yeah. It's a UK-based smart security company, and they revealed a new product that's designed specifically for the North American market. This would be the first product that the company has produced for the US market, and it has a previously released a door lock called the Avia Secure Smart Lock, but it was designed for mortise locks, and that's more commonly found in the UK and continental Europe. Well, any smart lock is nothing really special. This one actually comes with Apple HomeKey, so you can actually bring your Apple Watch or Apple device up and tap on it, and it'll unlock the door for you, which is pretty cool. People have been waiting for product to come out around that. The company's latest lock comes in 2 halves, an outer barrel lock fixture, and an interior section that contains probably the ugliest thing I've ever seen, but it has a thumb turn, a motor, and batteries. And you're able to use physical keys to like push in code. It really looks ugly. You guys really have to see this thing.
This is the most hideous lock I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of them. Like if I walked up to somebody's house and they had this, I would judge them so hard.
They have an image here that says keypad built into lock, and it's like there's no punctuation. It's like that's really all I can say about it. Keypad built into lock.
I mean, and it's funny because they've had these in the past too. Like you could always buy a deadbolt with a keypad built into it, or you can buy like a knob with button, keypad built into it as well. Like these have always been an option, and they never look good. It's hard to get even just like even like the Yale Assure lock with the keypad on there that you can type in the numbers and stuff. It's even hard to make those look attractive. And you actually like have a whole dedicated space for it. They've just kind of crammed the buttons into this one.
They should just lift the buttons off.
That's what I'm saying. Or like do something else, like a touch sensor. I don't know. Something like not that.
And that's what I was looking at. I was like, how could they make this look better? And the only way is just remove that keypad altogether. And then maybe, like you said, add a touch sensor or something like that on it. And we don't need the keypad at all. And you already got a key. You got the Apple, was it Home Key?
Home key.
So you have those two options. You could add a fingerprint reader at that point, and you're covered for this lock, right? We have 3 ways we can hack it, so that's good.
You could even do like a fingerprint sensor like underneath it.
Yeah.
That way it's not so visible, like literally the complete opposite side of the keypad there. And that way when you walk up to it, it's just like a normal deadbolt. You don't even know. And then they had to throw their ugly logo on there as well.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help.
Backlit logo.
Is it backlit?
Yeah, it lights up.
Oh, man.
Oh, it does. That's even worse.
Well, maybe they're listening and they'll take our suggestions.
They won't.
They could have also made this with just 5 keys rather than a full 10. I think that's probably throwing us off as well. Like it could have done it with fewer number. Like I think my Yale lock or whatever that is over there, Kwickset, I guess. It only has a few keys on it. It's not the full, 1 through or 0 through 1, 1 through 0. I guess 1 through 0 keypad on it. Pass. I like the Apple key thing. That's cool.
Take out the ugly and I'll buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, but.
All right. Well, let's move on to some new cool products here. Apple announced the next generation of Apple TV 4K. It's powered by the A15 Bionic chip. And the A15 delivers faster performance and more fluid gameplay, which I guess that's cool. The new Apple TV 4K now features HDR10 Plus, which expands on the currently supported Dolby Vision for the current version of the Apple TV 4K. So that's nice. A couple more quick specs here. 2 configurations. The Apple TV 4K Wi-Fi, which is Wi-Fi only. It comes with 64 GBs of storage, and the Apple TV 4K Wi-Fi plus Ethernet. And that one offers support for both gigabit Ethernet or fast networking. I think it's this one does have 6E on it, or is that just the new iPad that had the 6E? I'm not sure.
New iPad, the Pro.
The Pro has 6E on it. The Thread Mesh Network Protocol is also built into this thing, so you can connect even more smart home accessories.
Thread and Matter.
Okay, I'll go with it. You can order the new Apple TV 4K today at a starting price of $129 with availability beginning November 5th. Gavin, you were tempted and walked over to the Tim Apple store and decided to purchase one of these.
Yep. I was, just looking at it on the Apple store, and I accidentally clicked add to cart, and I then accidentally clicked checkout and accidentally entered my address. And yeah, it will be here November 4th by accident.
Put in your 3-digit key on the back of your credit card.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happens all the time.
All this automation I created, it just took it from there, right? So I was actually looking at getting a new Apple TV to handle all the apps for my TV, only because the LG C1 is just killing me with those ads. Every time I turn on the TV, like yesterday I turned on the TV and 7 ads popped up on me. Now, the dumb part is they all overlaid each other. So it just kept going bling, 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 bling. So I only ever read the last ad. So they can't even do ads right.
What you have to do to get rid of those is just use your Samsung remote, the one with the little, gyroscope in it. And that's punch the bonsai buddy. You just got to punch the monkey as it goes by, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna start looking into that. But I got the Apple TV, so I can start doing Netflix and stuff using that, and I'm not using their integrated apps, and I can get away from their ads hopefully at some point. So it'll be here November 4th. I also got it because I had the Thread and everything built in. That's a bonus. So when all the Matter stuff starts rolling out next month, I'll start to play with that too. So we'll see where it goes.
I told you so.
I want you to put that on loop, please. That's my new ringtone.
Oh man.
I remember when you bought that TV, I was like, so what streaming device are you going to hook up to? No, I'm just going to use the built-in streaming stuff. Like, it should be fine. It'll be fine. It's not fine, is it, Gavin?
And you know what? Like, why I never really liked that built-in streaming stuff. I went to my mom's house and I was using her Netflix over there, and her TV is about 5 years old. No, probably about 6 years old now. It was dog slow, her Netflix, and I'm like, you see, this is why I don't like the built-in apps, because the TVs will get slower. That drove me nuts, but I get an Apple TV 4K, so it doesn't matter. And I got the more expensive one because I wanted all the bells and whistles.
Heck yeah.
You got to.
Well, it's not even that expensive, to be honest. So I think it's a great deal for what it is. And honestly, as somebody who switched over to the Apple TV about 4 or 5 months ago, it's been really nice. And I like it better than the Roku and the Google TV.
Ooh.
So
it would have been nice if they included the HDMI cable in that, but no, you got to buy that separately for another $40.
Did you get the HDMI? Did you accidentally buy it's an 8K HDMI cable?
that's fancy.
No.
That's at least worth $35. I mean,
I have a bunch of HDMI cables in the basement. I'm sure I have one that can handle HDR and all that fun stuff.
That's what they all say. But it's okay.
You got to get the super fancy one so your Sonos sounds better.
Exactly. It's got audio support in there. Gold-plated audio connectors. Well, it should be interesting. $149 for the Wi-Fi plus Ethernet version, I guess, with 128 GBs of storage. I don't know why you'd need... I bought one of those one year that had all of the storage, and I'm like, what is it even for? I have the same 4 apps on here that I watch. Like, what does it do? It doesn't buffer anything as far as I can tell. So it's not like...
I think it's only useful if you have Plex, because for some reason my Plex downloads are ginormous.
Huh. Interesting.
It's like all the album art or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I would definitely recommend getting the Ethernet version, but I can understand why they would say, okay, cut off the Ethernet, because most people are not going to hook up their Apple TVs with the Ethernet cable.
It's only $20 difference though. And that's what, we're seeing a lot of these small variations in tech, which I guess I don't understand, right? Like the Sonos One speakers, for example, without the microphone. I guess I can kind of understand that because some people don't like the microphone, but it's not that much price difference. This is only $20 difference. I think I would just buy the better one for $20 more, even if I didn't plan on using the features that the $20 more one had.
And when you talk about that Sonos one, it's what was it? It was like $20 difference without the microphone, without the Amazon lady and all that stuff. So it kind of makes me think, did it only cost them $20 to add that feature? And they're taking this out and that's all it is? No, probably not. So sometimes it's so close that I'm just just get the one to future proof if you ever wanted to move it to another room or do something.
Yeah. And I think Wi-Fi too has finally, there's enough decent product on the market right now between Eero, Unify, just in the consumer realm, there's some decent products that are available for Wi-Fi. I think, I don't want to say that I feel like Wi-Fi has been solved, but it's definitely, when as far back as I can remember, when this original Apple TV 4K came out, it didn't seem like we were in the same place at that time. It wasn't last year. It wasn't 6 months ago. They have pretty long, product turnaround at Apple. So especially around these kind of products, I can't remember when the last one came out. This was 2018, it's a few years back, but we definitely weren't in the same place we were with Wi-Fi.
No, and it's definitely gotten better. I think my problem is that I think as a product costs more money, it should just come with those kind of features already in it. For an Apple TV at $129, it's already at the higher end of streaming devices.
Well, it was lower than the other ones because they were $200.
No, if you're comparing just the Apple TV, yeah. But if you're comparing it to a Roku, an $80 Roku comes with a hardwired port.
Right.
And so that's how I kind of think about it. And I know that there are different products from different companies and all that good stuff. But I don't know if I'm paying that much for a streaming device or a home automation hub like we're about to talk about. It should just come with those features already in it, so I don't have to worry about it.
Okay, it's a good point. It's Apple though. You pay above market rate for everything that they.
I need a dongle. Give me a dongle for
just a USB-C dongle. You just plug it in the back. Yeah.
We took out the Ethernet port to put a USB-C port, but now you need a dongle.
It's courage.
But you can't use the USB-C port for anything else. It's only for the Ethernet dongle.
Right. Yeah, it's locked down. That's funny. Well, as you just teased, DJ, we'll talk about this next product here. It's from a company called Homey, which I honestly hadn't. I think I've heard of them in passing, but not really paid much attention to them. But not really familiar with what they have out there. But if you are familiar with them, you probably have seen their Homey Bridge, which was a product aimed at basically integrating with everything out there. The company's new hub is going to aim at an even wider audience for how many radios they're putting in this thing. So check this out. Every one of these is in one little Apple TV size device. It's round, not square, but Wi-Fi, so 2.4 and 5G, Bluetooth LE5, RF 433, Z-Wave Plus, the 700 series, Zigbee 3.0, infrared, Matter, which will be coming Q2 2023, and Thread, which is coming Q3 2023. And it's scheduled to go on sale in Q4 of 2022. It looks like they're already kind of accepting pre-orders, and there's some pricing up there. And TJ, that's what you were alluding to. What do you think about the pricing? Let us know what it is, and what do you think?
So the pricing for the hub is $399, which in the grand scheme of things, if you're comparing it to a bunch of other hubs, it is super expensive, right? But honestly, I don't think $399 is that bad as long as it comes with long-term support. But for an additional, $29, you can buy an Ethernet dongle to convert it, the USB-C port to an Ethernet port. And at $399, same thing we just talked about, I feel like it should just come with an Ethernet port built in, right? And especially as your main hub, you would want to hardwire that to the internet. I like Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi works great for a lot of things, but anything that is critical to my house needs to be hardwired. And a hub that controls all my other smart devices needs to be hardwired to the internet. Other than that, though, I really like this hub, and I would probably buy one. I'm not going to pre-order it because I don't do that. But if this comes out and it actually does what it says it will do, I will buy one.
Gavin, what do you think? Wait, what do you think about Homey? I look at this architecture platform, SDK. It seems pretty mature. Have you run across these guys before?
I've heard about them over the years. I think they've had some other products, but this one specifically is coming with all the bells and whistles. Yeah. I mean, they're one generation behind on the Z-Wave stuff. They should have come with the 800 series chip. I mean, that's a letdown right there. Right?
Jeez, $400 hub can't even come with 800 series.
Their Wi-Fi is only, they're behind on the Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi 6E support or anything like that.
Yeah, because you need 6E support for a hub. I mean, tell me about it.
That's a dongle too. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I got to make sure my downloads are really, really fast to that hub.
But it's interesting. Matter and Thread support is coming in Q2 of 2023 and Q3. It kind of shows it makes you wonder why so far away is that stuff. That just feels like you need to kind of be on Q1 at least.
It needs to happen now.
It should be released with it.
They don't even have a product out now. What are you guys talking about? Let them get the hardware out first. You're like, no, it's got to. They can just tell you it supports Matter, and then
No, this is the new standard. If you're gonna launch a new device, it just better do it already.
Exactly. Why am I waiting to Q3? I'm gonna be on their forums, and every day is gonna be a new post. Is it Matter ready yet? Is Matter ready yet? Is Matter ready yet? And you know what? When I look at everything they support, I almost feel like they're competing with Home Assistant. You can build a lot of this stuff into Home Assistant, and you can get dongles and add them to Home Assistant. Home Assistant seems to get all the it's getting all the hype right now. They have a loyal fan base. It supports everything. It's getting a lot of hype right now, a lot of support, even with their Home Assistant yellow box they just released. It's even making me want to go and check out Home Assistant. But I want to give Home Assistant some time.
TJ's already there. He's gonna be singing his "I Told You So" song before too long.
I'm giving it a little more time because they made some major changes, and I want those changes to mature a little bit more before I even start taking it seriously.
Good point.
And I want to do more cleanup on it.
Just jump in, Gavin. Jeez.
I'm happy with my Habitat though. I have to say I'm happy with my Habitat. So it'll be interesting to see what they have a long way to go.
I don't understand their pricing here now that I'm looking at it. It says that if I want Bluetooth, Z-Wave, infrared, 433, all this other stuff, it says I need the bridge on this little pricing chart.
Well, and that's if you buy the regular one. If you buy the Pro, it comes with everything.
No, it just says with the bridge. So I'm even more confused as to what this means. What can I run this on my own device, and then I just need a bridge to, like, the bridge is only $69.
So that's what I was kind of wondering too, because they have like one device for $299 a month, which I think is just like a stripped down version.
Yeah.
And then you can buy a bridge, which does the other things like Bluetooth, Zigbee, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, the bridge is only $69 though. Like it's way cheaper than
That's not terrible. Yeah, but then for the Homie, you're paying $3 a month for like the rest of your life.
And so to get to just go all in, you get the Homie Pro. And then you get all this stuff. You don't need the $69 bridge. You just need, and you don't need the $299 a month. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm all right with that. It gives people a cheap way to get into it. A lot of people are just not going to use Zigbee and Z-Wave. You know, it's one of those nerd protocols that we kind of talk about. They're going to use Wi-Fi devices and all that good stuff. So
here it is. With the subscription, without a subscription, you can add up to 5 devices for free. Yay. With or without Homie Bridge. So if you depending on what devices you had, if they're Wi-Fi devices or something like that. And then if you do have the subscription, you get unlimited devices, you get access to their Homie insights and logic and variable flows and that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much automation at that point. There's no reason to do the other one other than just to not kick the tires and see how it works. But I don't know. This seems pretty cool. Like the interface looks really good. Like if you said, hey, just blind taste test here. You like this or the Home Assistant? I would go over here. This one, the interface looks very nice.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Is like there's a couple of different options if if you're willing to build your own interface or you're willing to kind of go through the trenches to kind of do your own home automation system. But the majority of people just aren't willing to do that. And, even me, I have the capabilities to do most of this stuff. But if I could just buy a device, plug it in, and kind of go from there, I'm going to do that 100% of the time. Like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life just configuring devices and writing YAML.
$399 right here. There you go.
Yeah. I'll wait for it to come out.
But when it comes to a hub, that's one of the things I look at too. Is like I want the basic to do have a little interface where I can do basic stuff. Flip switch, light turns on. Say it's sexy time and everything adjusts around the place, right? I like that. But when it comes to more advanced stuff, I also want to be able to either not in YAML or whatever language, write scripts, write my own apps, do whatever I want. And a lot of users, eventually they'll reach that point where they want to do a little more than it's capable of. And I'm hoping they offer that kind of thing too, right? I was looking to see, but I didn't see anything along that lines.
You found the sexy time integration though. I mean, it's right here
on the front page.
In their copy.
Yeah. So there is a sexy time integration. Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah. It red light turn on. You got to play. You can leave your hat on and then turn on the Rituals perfume diffuser. In the
we
bedroom.
know what you want.
We know what this is all about. Yeah. Submitted by Anonymous in the Netherlands. So there you go. I don't know. Pretty cool product. Like they claim 750 different apps with integrations on here. It looks like a really complete platform. I have never tried this out. I've never even heard of it, honestly. So I will be interested to see what they do, and maybe like TJ, when it comes around, and I might look into this. This is actually pretty cool. I really do like the interface, how it looks, and it looks like how you drag and drop and plug things in. This looks like a really well refined like Home Assistant or version of Home Assistant. So could be
it's
nice.
Beautiful because it has everything already in it. Like until they come out with a new standard, like this is it. You don't have to buy another bridge to do this or a bridge to do that. Like this is it.
All right, let's move on here. I probably should ring that bell, right? Because it's a hub. So we got we got a bell. So sorry about that.
Forgot. We don't get to ring that often these days, but yeah, here we go. Another new hub.
Dust this thing off. Yeah. It's like 2 times in 2 weeks. It's pretty wild. All right. Moving on here. Big news from Roku. Roku's jumping into the smart home with products made by Roku. Wink. Yeah. These aren't Roku products, but they've officially announced a lineup of smart home gadgets that include lighting, plugs, and cameras. The devices, which were, quote, developed in partnership with the budget-friendly smart home company Wyze, will be sold exclusively through Walmart in the U.S. starting on October 17th. According to Roku, the initial lineup includes smart bulbs with white and color version, light strips, indoor and outdoor smart plugs, pretty much everything other than the socks from the Wyze website. So, and I haven't really gone through and compared the prices here, but video doorbell and chime SE is $79. Outdoor camera SE $79. Yeah, I think this is probably in line with what Wyze's pricing are. And I know that they're, you still have to do the subscriptions that you'll pay Roku for, but also, pretty much the same as Wyze. So, no Matter support has been announced at this time from, I guess, either Roku or Wyze. So to keep an eye on them. But what do you guys think about this? Roku is now a smart home company.
So I don't know if it's the exact same product, but I'm looking at the Wyze website right now, and they have MSRP for the Wyze video doorbell plus chime is $58.99, and it's on sale for $42.99. So that's a price difference of at least $20.
That is quite a bit.
I mean, that's quite a bit.
Yeah. Interesting.
I always thought that this was kind of the perfect space for Roku. They kind of own the streaming household in a way. They have several different devices. You can kind of pick any price you want for it. And it always made sense to me that they would integrate lights eventually, right? Kind of like the Philips Hue, that little light sync box they have going on. I always thought it would be a good idea for Roku to have something like that. I just didn't imagine it would be Wyze. I thought they would just come out with their own devices, to be honest. I don't know. We'll have to see how that evolves, but I don't really see why you would buy this over just buying it from Wyze.
Probably better integration, right? And in the chat room, Greg said exactly what I was thinking. Why didn't they just make a Wyze app for the Roku or integrate the Wyze devices directly in to the Roku and license that out? Imagine Roku takes basically these Wyze devices, rebrands them, puts their own firmware on, and sells more of them than the Wyze does initially, right? I just didn't
Wyze
get
isn't
the
going to
play
care
here.
about that. That's
yeah,
all right.
But now we have 2 more ecosystems. We have the Roku camera and Switch and everything ecosystem. You have the Wyze ecosystem, and they probably don't work with each other as well. So, I just don't get it. There must be a lot of money in play that I don't know about. I don't see all those contracts, and that's probably what it's about.
I think you're right, because the biggest thing about this is that this is a Walmart exclusive, right? So this is going to be basically, I've been in Walmart recently, and I think I was even dropping by there today for some food related item, but I've been in the electronics section there, and there's a pretty substantial smart home area. So Roku is going to be able to put all these purple boxes with a familiar name that people may already have either on their TV or may already have a Roku device, and they'll be able to line that up. And then you look over and you see, okay, there's a 2-pack of light bulbs for, what did I say, $19 for that, I think is what it was. Let's see. The 2-pack color light bulbs, $17.99. The white light bulbs 1-pack, roughly this. I was looking at these; they're roughly the same price as what you would go on Wyze's website, off sale and buy. But people aren't going to know Wyze's name at Walmart. They may know the camera if they have got one, but they're going to look over and see a Roku video doorbell and chime for $79 and go, "Oh, I've always wanted one of those. I got a Roku TV at home. When I press the doorbell, it says it's going to pop up on my TV. It'll be integrated together." Done. Easy purchase, right? And put that in your stocking for Christmas or whatever. A decent video doorbell. So I think it's a win-win. In the retail partnership between that Roku must have set up was probably what you're seeing here over what Wyze could do.
And I get that too. That's name recognition is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine, but I would expect, okay, why don't you guys play nice together? And okay, we'll let you brand it Roku, but also let our Wyze things work in there as well in the same way, so we could have one uniform ecosystem, right? That way they get the brand recognition. But I don't think that's what's happening. It looks like Roku's making their own firmware for these devices and reflashing them, and Wise won't have any way to work together with them.
It's not just the name recognition, it's the retail partnership. Now, so you remember that here, at least here in the States, you could get a Wise camera in Home Depot. And for a while there, it was like $25. And then all of a sudden, Home Depot was like, nah, we can't deal with this anymore. These cameras are like $10 more now. And you can still go on to Wise's website and buy it for the cheap $25. So Wise is sitting there undercutting all the retail partners by selling this stuff below what they can sell it at retail. Roku comes in and says, look, we'll be your retail channel. We'll just relabel it. It'll be our own brand. And then what happens is Walmart and Home Depot and all those guys can make money off of selling the Wise devices, the inexpensive devices, because that little bit of margin that you see built in between the prices there, that's what Walmart's making. And, if somebody buys, a couple cameras from Walmart that have the Roku name on it, Walmart wants to make money on that stuff. So that's what I think. That's along with the name recognition of Roku over Wise, and then money. It's all about money.
Yeah, honestly, and it's funny too, the Walmart exclusivity. I would have thought that maybe Walmart would have done this with Wise and then just offered it through their on brand. For those that don't know, Walmart has a cheaper brand of streaming devices and a bunch of other home electronics under the ONN brand. So I don't know. It's just a weird thing. Like, it totally makes sense in the business side of things, but I don't know. Smart home side of things is kind of silly. Normal tech stuff going on though. Companies do this all the time. They buy from another company and white label it and ship it off. So perfectly normal.
All right, moving on here. We've got Netflix beginning to charge $6.99 per month for its new advertising supported tier. This company will roll this out in the US starting on November 3rd. Netflix's basic with ads tier will include the average of 4 to 5 minutes of commercials for each hour. It won't give users the ability to download movies and TVs on mobile devices while they travel. That's bad. Anyway, ads will be 15 to 30 seconds in length and will play before and during Netflix content. Companies will have the ability to prevent ads from appearing on content they deem like for unsavory or unsuitable. And a limited number of TV series and movies will initially be unavailable due to licensing restrictions. So they won't be able to ads on everything until they get those contracts rewritten. To help advertisers understand its reach, ratings company Nielsen will use its standard digital audio audience measurement, digital ad ratings in the U.S. beginning in 2023 to measure this stuff. So Netflix is rolling it out, $6.99 a month. You guys interested in this, TJ?
No.
I hear this is what. No.
At this point, if I have to, I don't want to pay for anything that has ads. So if I can pay a little bit more to avoid ads, I'm going to do it 100% of the time.
Yep. And we already know how Gavin feels about ads, so I'm not even going to ask him. But
I hate it. You know what? Every time I see stuff like this, I'm like, we're going back to cable TV. This is all the stuff I left cable TV for. The ads, the bundling, the all that stuff. Now we're going right back to it. So now we're getting into a subscription service where you can pay for ads or pay for more for less ads. What was interesting though, I found it shocking that in Canada we're actually paying less for this. So we'll be paying $5.99 Canadian, which off the top of my head works out to $4.36 US. That's weird, but I also think it's because we don't have access to all the content that you have access. I think they limit what we actually have access to, so we don't get a lot of the fun stuff. But I also found interesting is Nielsen rating. Wasn't Netflix, didn't they not release their viewership numbers on their programs before? Like, wasn't there a big
Correct.
thing about that?
It's all internal.
Right? So now they kind of have to talk about what's popular, how many people are watching, if they're going to be selling ads on that, which I found pretty interesting because that's going to drive a few news stories now as to, how many people are watching the Netflix shows.
Yep. They may be able to extrapolate out of that how many are watching on the broader ecosystem, right? So that will be interesting to see. Good point. It will be interesting to see, like, if you were to get this and watch it and the commercial comes on and then on your TV and then you get a pop-up on your TV at the same time. So you have like two ads at the same time.
Yeah. So my fear with these kind of services when they start introducing ads is at first you'll be like, oh, there'll be one ad before the show starts. And you're like, yeah, I could deal with this, but 3 months later, when times are slow and they got to generate money, you're going to have 15-minute pre-show rolls and then a halfway ad. And then it's going to turn into ads every 20 minutes, and then it's back to cable again.
I've got the model. They could do 2 ads, like right when you start watching the video, right? But then like you're forced to watch the first ad, but the second ad, after like 5 or 10 seconds, there'll be a little skip ad button that pops up in the corner, but you can only do that so many times. And then like about halfway through like the next video that you start to watch, a big thing can pop up and say, "Hi, do you want to subscribe to the the Netflix family program and get rid of these ads? Try it for a month." And you can click that. God, YouTube, just horrible user experience. I know I don't want to pay for it,
but that's what I'm seeing happening. It's just going to become a bad user experience over time. Once they realize how much money they're making off these ads, why not add another ad in? It's only another 10 seconds. No one's going to notice that, right? Yeah, I could just see it happening.
It all happens because people don't want to pay for things. If people didn't mind paying for things, then this wouldn't happen. But we're here. And we've been here for like 20 or 30 years now, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I mean, even I said it's like, I don't want to pay for YouTube. I would find it valuable if the YouTube app was appreciably different and could actually hold the settings that I set on every video to, I would like for the, the speed of the video. I like to watch my videos at like 175 or almost 2x. Like, it'd be nice if it would just hold that setting, because they don't. Like, why don't they hold the settings per video? And even if you pay for it, it doesn't do that. So I don't know, like YouTube just seems to be kind of like the worst when it comes to what they're doing there. Now, I guess, do either one of you pay for YouTube, the premium version?
Heck yeah.
No.
Yes. No one yet. So TJ, why is it ads?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I've grown up using YouTube, right? I mean, like, right as we were really getting into like middle school and high school, like YouTube has pretty much been around. And I've always hated the ad experience of YouTube. When it started out, it wasn't that bad, but it's progressively gotten worse. And, just like every other streaming service in the world, they kind of just succumb to ads eventually. And I don't mind paying the subscription fee for ad free. So I don't know. I think I have the family account for like 14 or 15 bucks a month, and I get like 5 accounts with it. I give it to a couple friends. I have, all of our personal accounts on there, and I'm fine with that.
I don't know what your viewing habits are like, but what happens to me now is when I watching, whether it's on Facebook or wherever, I'm watching a video, get halfway through it, and ad pops up. That is the moment in the video where I decide, am I going to finish off this video or skip to the next one? So for all those content creators, make sure you got me in the first half so that I can, I'll go through the ad and stick around, because that ad has become my deciding factor of switching to the next video. And I almost feel like that's going to start happening with certain shows. You'll be halfway through a show and 30-second minute ad will pop up and people will just like, you know what? I wasn't liking this show anyway. Let's just skip to another one.
I'm kind of to the point in my life where if I can't pay to remove the ads on something and I want to use it, I just won't use that service anymore. And, it's funny, I see a lot of people online that's like, well, I have ad blockers installed on my computer, or I have ad blockers installed on like all throughout the network. And like, I don't even want that, right? Because I've done that before, and it sometimes messes with different websites or compatibility with things. And I just don't like doing that. But if I go to a website and it's just like overran with ads, I'll never go back to that website again. If it's like a news website that I can buy a subscription to and not have to worry about ads or article limits, I'll probably do that. I don't want to deal with that if I don't have to. And I do everything I can to avoid all those ads.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I've purchased a couple of like local newspaper for sure, because I'm always clicking on the links there and then going, paywall. And I like some of the writers we have locally, so it's kind of nice to read some of their stuff. But and as well with a few other news type products that are out there. I agree. Getting rid, like, no one likes these ads. I'm just kind of reading through this article here. It's suggesting that Netflix will get at least $3 a month per user in advertising revenue. The ones that switch over to this. So it's kind of crazy that they can get that much per month per user that's using this plan.
Yeah, and before they weren't getting anything, I mean, because those are people that probably were not using it before. So they have a cheaper option now, and if they can deal with the ads, then they're going to do it.
So they're basically saying there is a Netflix Basic without ads that's $9.99. So that's where I guess they're coming up with the $3-ish figure from $7 to $10 basically, that the ads are going to supplement those people in the lower tier. It is lower than most everything, other than maybe Paramount with ads. So Paramount, Peacock, those are $5 a month with ads. But Disney Plus, $7.99 with ads. Hulu, $7.99. HBO Max with ads, $9.99. So not a bad price point, especially with the amount of content that they have. Well, Paramount and Peacock, those have a lot of content as well, but not kind of like the originals that Netflix offers. So I don't know. Will be interesting to see what happens. I'm not a fan of the way this brings, like, what will suck is if and what will happen is like these ads will start creeping up into the other plans, right? Like the basic without ads is like basic with maybe a few ads, in a few years. It's going to be ad creep, and
it's going to be price creep too. Next year, they're going to raise the price 50 cents, then 50 cents again. And now you're at the, a higher level anyway. You're just paying less than whatever the next level is.
If Netflix just allows me to turn off those automated pre-rolls that they do every time you're on something, I would be happy with that. Maybe even pay it like an extra $1.
I think they do. Right?
God, it's so annoying. I don't think they do. I don't think there's any way you can turn it off. But if I'm wrong, please tell me, because it's so aggravating.
No, like if you're just like surfing through and like it whatever you're sitting on just starts playing loud or whatever. Yeah, you have to do it through the web interface though. I don't think you can do it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you can't do it through the app itself, which, of course, why would they make it easy? Like
why not?
And I hate when I get the net. You see, I hate when apps on your phone use the push notifications for ads too. So I constantly get push notifications from Netflix about what new show that I don't even subscribe to, but there's this new show on here. Same with Amazon. I hate their app because I'm constantly getting push notifications with ads for Amazon stuff. Like, only use that to notify me when my package is shipped, etc., not to hurry up and get on Christmas shopping and get my Christmas shopping started. That drives me nuts.
Little late breaking news here. Netflix actually beat their earnings this last quarter, and they added 2.41 new subscribers during the quarter, and it was only forecasting 1 million. So that's quite a bit. Pretty good that they were able to bring that many people in. And they have announced that they will begin the great password crackdown next year. So no more password sharing.
Ha!
I'm in trouble. Well, there goes my Netflix access.
Yeah, you're not even going to watch it anymore. Let's see. The company will also allow people sharing their accounts to create sub accounts and pay for their friends and family. So basically, if you've been borrowing, I wonder how it works. Like, we have different users on our account, but those users all don't live under the same household roof. So
now
I wonder if that's going to count. We'll find out, I guess.
Everybody lives with me. That's what I do with my Spotify. Don't tell anybody.
It's called a VPN.
I've got 8 people living with me.
Yeah. Tailscale is suddenly very, very popular. I don't know why. Anyway, if you guys don't know about Tailscale, check into it. It is really, really cool. Anyway, moving on here. All the links and topics we've discussed tonight can be found on our show notes at HomeTech.fm/408. We're just going to move right on to the pick of the week and give a big shout out to James over in the UK for basically he won the year, right? Best media room? What was the actual name of this year?
Sexiest room, I think.
I mean, it's beautiful.
It is a nice room.
He's been showing this off and talking about it for probably a year now, maybe longer, kind of in some like the hub and the private chats that we've had in the past. But yeah, winner 2022, HomePlay is his company, best media room in the EMEA market. That's awesome. Great job. Hats off to you. And some of the pictures that he's posted of that room are in our hub. If you're in there, you can go back and look at them. It's a small house, small room. It's got a beautiful theater, crazy audio system from what he was describing, like absolutely insane audio system. And I think it's even got a golf simulator. There's a DJ booth in there. It looks like a fun room to go into, and everything is like designed perfectly. Audio is engineered correctly. There's audio stuff in this room that you don't even see because it's hidden and so well engineered in there. So, I'm thinking back to some of the conversations we had in our early HomeTech talks where he was showing off engineered drawings of this and how they, were basically engineering holes in the walls for speakers to slide into, where the wiring on the back of the speaker had enough room just so in behind the speaker. So pretty cool stuff. You guys take a look at these pictures?
God, it's gorgeous, especially with that, I just want to point out like the 49-inch computer monitor for the DJ setup. I mean, the built-in speakers with it as well. It's just a nice looking room.
Yeah, it was great to see like all his hard work is getting recognized. Congratulations, well deserved. I noticed that DJ booth too, and that monitor would be great on Serato. I'm kind of upset that I'll never probably get to hear the room. It would be an expensive trip to go, but I'd love to like hear a room like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This thing it's gorgeous. I didn't know that was a monitor. I thought it was another speaker thing, but I guess that makes sense. Like I don't know what monitors look like, I guess.
That's a widescreen monitor.
Yeah, it says Dell right at the bottom.
That's like a $5,000 monitor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how much it actually is, but it's a lot. And that's not even like the most expensive thing in the room, but I just thought that was kind of cool too. I mean, just look at the giant speakers above the wall there, or above the window.
I can't remember what was the name of the speaker company they used in here. I don't remember. I'm trying to like go through and see what he had put in here. Oh,
L-Acoustics.
L-Acoustics. Yeah. So basically, what you would find in a commercial or live venue being completely engineered for a small space. Like this isn't a very.
Hopefully they don't have close by neighbors. They're going to hate them.
No, the walls are going to shake.
Johnsons are watching movies again.
So you can feel it. You can just feel it. Like, oh, I thought I was having a heart attack. No, watching a movie again over
just
there.
Dune.
All right. Well, if you have any comments, suggestions, picks of the week, or great ideas for the show, head on over to HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out that online form, or you can email us at feedback@HomeTech.fm. All right, guys. Project updates. I've got something big and orange in my yard. What is that?
It's like a scary Mickey Mouse pumpkin.
Oh, I put the wrong picture up. Did I put the wrong picture up? Oh no.
It's a scary Mickey Mouse pumpkin.
Is that even not the picture you wanted to show us?
I don't think so. Oh, there it is. That's the right one.
Oh, something else that's orange. Okay. Now I know. No wonder we were so confused earlier.
I was like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know if it's like a Prime deal or not, but I found this little like robot mower thing for like a few.
I hate you. I did the last mow today for the season, so I'm kind of over that, but I still hate you. All right, let me know what I'm missing out on.
I have no idea yet. You know why? Because to install this thing is like going to be at least 3 or 4 days worth of work. And unfortunately, my grass grows faster than that. And from what I'm reading and seeing on YouTube is that you can't actually just turn this loose. It's got to like start off with
set up boundaries and stuff.
Yeah, you have to, like a dog fence. You basically have to put the invisible dog fence up.
Okay.
So I've got some, and it's got to go not only around the yard, it's got to go around the house and bushes and that kind of thing. So you basically outline where your grass is, where you want it to cut, and it's kind of the dumb version. I didn't get the $2,500 Husqvarna like GPS enabled with like local surveying precision down to 10 centimeters of cut. No. I didn't bother with that. Like this thing is just it's a basic. It's called IE. I've seen it under different brands as well, but got it off Amazon for I think like $650 or something like that. It wasn't bad. All the while, like I'm saying this, like my current lawnmower just starts smoking, and I don't really know why, but I really don't care. If it dies, it's just going out by the street, and somebody can take it. I'm done with that thing. So I'm hoping I can set this little guy to go in the yard. It's supposed to cover like 2/3 of an acre somehow. And just mow all the time. So we'll be interested to see how well it works, if it can keep up with the Florida grass rate here.
So how much smarts does it have built into it? Because it's one thing when my robot vacuum runs over my slipper, but this running over my slipper is a whole different story.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it basically does work like a robot vacuum. It kind of looks for that perimeter wire and kind of bumps into things, goes back and forth. But the idea with these is not to like make nice stripes in your yard. The idea is to like over time cut a little bit off the grass and move on. Not like what I do now is wait till the grass grows at least, I don't know, 10 or 12 inches tall and then plow through it with a giant lawnmower that has to have a water cooled engine to get through this thing. And it starts smoking. I'm done with that thing. So I'm really hoping this works out. I still have my push mower just in case, it breaks down. And I still have the riding lawnmower, but I think it's on its last legs. I'm tired of dealing with it. It's just a maintenance nightmare. So Ty's ready and watch someone will try to pick it up and the alarm goes off. No, that's correct. I did not pay extra for it. So I'm hoping that my neighborhood finds it amusing and no one decides to walk off.
You have to put an air tag in it.
Actually I am. That's what I'm doing. There's going to be like, I was going to take some of the case apart and put one in like the top. It's fairly well weatherized, but it has a little rain sensor on it. On the front, you can kind of see it there in the picture. So when it gets a sprinkler, detects a sprinkle, it kind of makes its way back or tries to find where its home is going to be. And it goes back there. Although the home isn't like covered or anything. So I've been doing research too on like how to make a little home for this guy to drive back into. So yeah, this turns out to be a bigger project than just buying a lawnmower. So yeah, I've got to make a little home for him to go back into.
We need pictures and plans of your automated garage whenever you build
it. Some of them have a garage door that goes up and down. So
yeah, see, that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't know how to make it yet, but I'll figure it out.
Well, we had like an automated door thing on there on the show last week, so you can just get that for it. The little pet door
that could work. I was thinking something a lot less high tech and more counterweights and just like give it the ability to kind of go in and close the door. But yeah, I guess I could put servo engines on it.
It needs to be over engineered. It's no fun if you're not over engineering it.
Yeah Well, we'll see. I'm interested to see how it does work out. I guess I have to wait now until I get the other giant orange 10-foot Mickey pumpkin out of the yard, because that won't last. It's just vinyl. And if it gets run over by this lawnmower, I'm sure that it will just make a mess of things.
So I figure we'll get an update from you in about 6 weeks, because you got a lot of work still to do.
Possibly, yeah. I've got to get out and run a ton of this wire around the yard. So yeah, I don't know when that's going to happen. I was thinking I was going to do it this weekend, and I just kept working on the lawn, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Yard work. Anybody else got projects going on?
Not this week. I've been moving into a new office. Finally got that kind of organized and, enough to where I can sit down and I know where things are. So that's been nice. And now I have an office at the local Chamber of Commerce. And so I'm the, hanging up the TVs and everything else technology for the whole building. So it's been an exhausting week or two. But luckily, the chamber paid for our moving. So we actually had a moving company. They came in and just picked everything up, brought it right to the new office. So I, minus a couple van trips that I did of like oddball things for like, conduit or shovels, that kind of thing. I did not have to move any of my own stuff. And that was amazing.
That's delightful. Kevin, what about you? Anything big going on?
We're going through a seasonal change right now. So we had to, pack up the furniture, cover a lot of that going on, close the pool, etc., etc. Gave the lawn one last, mows. We have a thing called pushing lawnmowers. They have a little engine on it, and you push one.
I have one. Yeah.
You had a riding one, didn't you?
I'm very familiar.
We have to actually push.
Trust me.
Right? But what I did buy, and I'll talk about this on a later show. But I had to buy a new water heater. So I got a water heater with some smarts built into it. I had to replace my smoke detectors. Those have a bit of smarts in it. It's integrated Z-Wave with my hub. So we'll talk about that later. Some little projects I'm working on,
Automated water heater. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They have an open API, but like I said, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. I've got a water heater project too. So whenever you do yours, I might do mine. Mine's actually a lot easier. So, but we'll talk about it then.
My water heater right now is sitting in the garage. Tomorrow we're gonna slide it down the stairs. I'm hoping maybe do the install tomorrow because there's a lot of gas connections and stuff we have to do, and water, and and hopefully, and then I'll order the smart module. So you gotta order this module afterwards, and it plugs in pretty easily, and then you get some controls as an open API for integration into My Habitat or Home Assistant if that's what you use, and I'll see what I can do with it from there. But everything I buy now, it's funny because
it's gotta have an API.
I always, it's like I look, is it smart? Does it have an API to integrate? Because I don't want to load another app, So I do that every time I buy something.
I didn't even think about this this lawnmower to see if it had an API. I just was it does have a Wi-Fi hookup, but I don't.
You didn't pay that much money for it.
I don't. I think it's got like local Wi-Fi to your phone or whatever, and then it kind of like schedules itself with an internal clock, but it doesn't have like Wi-Fi connectivity while it's in the it's inside.
Well, you can, if it's got an app, you can reverse engineer the calls. That's what I did to get my Wise cameras back in the day, and I captured all their calls and their information, and I was able to control their stuff like that. So
yeah, but I don't. What I mean is, I don't think that it has like a constant connection to Wi-Fi. I think it's one of those things where you like connect locally to it when it's on, and then you set it up, set the time, and then it just it's got its own clock and does its own thing.
Okay. So you can't kick it off remotely or anything like that.
No, I don't think so. I really wasn't particularly looking for that, and especially since like those are as much as like a real riding lawnmower, like a brand new riding lawnmower. I wasn't really thinking about like that was where I just wanted to see if this actually worked. And so like it seems like the hard part, if it does work, and I do want a better one down the road, like the hard part is actually like laying this wire in the ground, or that's the hard part. The rest is like trimming the edges and that kind of stuff that I'll have to do still. So be interesting.
No API, that's a pass.
All right. Well, let's move on here. We want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are able to financially support the show through our Patreon page. If you don't know about the Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support to learn how you can support HomeTech for as little as $1 a month. Every pledge gets you any pledge over $5 a month gets you a shout out on the show, but every pledge gets you an invite to our private Slack chat, The Hub, where you and other supporters of the show can gather around and ooh and awe over those beautiful pictures of that media that James posted. If you want to help out the show but can't support financially, totally understand. Just appreciate a 5-star review on iTunes or positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. That's it. Wraps up another week of Home Tech news from here. Everybody, have a great weekend.
Take care.
See you next time.
It's not snow that you hear outside. That's a helicopter.
They're looking for somebody.
It's not snow though. Like I know you thought it was cold out here, but it's not.
Who would think that's snow?
I know. That's not what snow sounds like.
I don't. I just
mean,
assume.
a motorcycle, a terrible car.
It just sounds like
snow.
like jingle bells, right? That's what it sounds like. Because that's every time I've seen snow on TV, there's like jingle bells, and that's what I thought snow sounded like.
You actually hear ho 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 right after.
Oh yeah, that's what the clouds, instead of thunder, you just hear ho ho ho.
It's the sound of a person's boot crushing the snow as they walk by. Snow. That's the sound of snow. The falling sound of snow is very silent. It's actually calming. Have you ever experienced snow, Seth?
I have not.
Oh wow!
Not even once.
Like?
You gotta come up during winter one time, and just experience it. It's like if you decked out your whole room with that sound deadening material.
Okay,
it kind of sounds like that when you're outside. It's it's so dead. It's weird.
It's so dead.
Interesting. Well, I'll have to do it one day.
We'll introduce you to snow.
It's an awful idea. Don't do it.
Snow day on Home Tech.